Hey folks, welcome back to PDSN and the Personal Digital Sovereignty Network. Today we're diving into a tech story that isn't just raw new gadgets, hype, or AI model release 47. This one hits the core of who controls your digital future because this week OpenAI, Anthropic, Google are in active negotiations with the White House to establish voluntary frontier AI safety standards, not mandatory, not regulated, voluntary. And that tells you everything about where the power currently sits and where governments are trying to claw it back. So here are the situations. US government is trying to get ahead of the frontier AI before it outruns them. They are talking with the big players about safety standards for the next generation of models. The ones that can write code, break systems, and manipulate data, potentially automate cyber attacks. This isn't about ChatGPT writing poems. This is about frontier level capability, the kind of intelligent agency are openly warning about. The Five Eyes Alliance, yes, including Canada, recently said frontier models enable cyber attacks are now a months, not years threat. That's not sci-fi, that's intelligence community waving a red flag. So the White House wants guardrails. The companies want freedom, and both sides are trying to negotiate a middle ground that keeps innovation moving without letting the world burn. This is the part nobody's talking about. Voluntary standards are just as strong as the company choosing to follow them. If OpenAI agrees to safety protocols but the competitor doesn't, if Google limits model access but the startups in another country doesn't, if Anthropic builds safeguards but someone in another releases a raw model, the entire system becomes a patchwork of responsibilities held together by hope, and hope is not a strategy. This is why governments are suddenly paying attention. They're realizing that the frontier AI isn't just a tech product, it's infrastructure, it's power, it's leverage, it's national security. Right now, the power sits almost entirely in the private hands. For Canada, especially with Meta building its first Canadian AI data center in Alberta, this is a wake up call. If the US sets voluntary standards and Canada doesn't, the company complies in one country but not another. If safety becomes optional depending on the geography, we end up with sovereignty gap, a risk gap, and that's exactly the kind of thing PDSN exists to talk about. Because digital sovereignty isn't just about owning your data, it's about understanding who controls the systems that shape your society and whether your government has any say in how the system operates. Here's the real debate. Voluntary safety standards enough? Or is this just a corporate self-policing dressed up as responsibility to avoid real regulation? Because let's be honest, tech companies don't negotiate rules unless they see regulation coming. This is a preemptive, this is strategic, this is about shaping rules before governments write them. And that's why the story matters. It's not about an AI model, it's about power. If you're new here to PDSN, where we talk about tech, not entertainment, but as infrastructure, sovereignty, and the future of public power. Drop your thoughts below. Do you trust voluntary AI safety standards, or should governments take a stronger hand before the frontier becomes ungovernable? I'll see you in the next one. Just like, follow, and subscribe, and we'll be back.